okay, should you start a tuition business, right? Is this gonna be the life of your dreams? Is this gonna be the career of your dreams? Are you gonna be financially free? Are you gonna escape the rat race, escape the 9 to 5, right? Is this the path forward? And especially in Singapore, because I don't know the context for other countries, right? Especially in Singapore, should you start a tuition business? And I got this question from someone because like someone he's thinking of breaking into the industry, and like he used to work 9 to 5, and then he's trying to jump into this, right? So my answer to him was that very few people should start a tuition business. Very, very few percentage of people. Because most people would be much happier with a simpler life where you can work in a tuition business. You can be the tutor. You can earn lots of money, by the way, as a tutor. Like, for example, in my tuition business, because I pay commission, right? And our commission is right now is very high because we are in the early stages of the company. We have very few people. So that's why we can afford this kind of commission now. And it's oh, okay, so just for context, right? One of my tutors, at the end of this year or next year, at the end of next year, if she hits 150 students, right, which is very doable. I know that by the end of next year she can do it. End of this year, if she can do it, even better, right? Fantastic. But yeah, by the end of next year, if she hits 150 students, then she'll be earning 18.9k a month. Okay, that's her paycheck. 18.9k a month when she's at 150 students, because she's earning per commission, right? Per student she gets a cut. So if I was someone like her, right, I would never want to start a business, because you will have to juggle all the other headaches. Like, for example, I have to think about managing people. I have hiring, recruiting, firing people, managing people. Like, because I got to have meetings with them, check-ins with them, make sure are they doing their work properly. If they're not, I have to handle that, and then like help them get back on track, help them to do their work properly. So I got to manage people. I also got to do the administrative things, operations, right? I got to make sure all the operations are running. That, okay, the assistants are setting up the Zoom meeting links correctly, are sending the correct messages in the group chats, and they are sending what they need to share the resources to the students. Then I got to ensure that my personal assistants who are in person, they are mailing the notes, they are mailing the welcome gift to the students. I got to ensure the payments are all collected, they are being distributed correctly. Then I got to do the marketing side of things, right? I'm the one spearheading the marketing, so I have to learn sales copy, marketing copy, learn marketing funnels, learn advertising, learn how to run ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ad manager. I have to learn and do and execute a lot of things. Okay, I also got to manage the website, that it's up to date. It's every time we got new testimonials, we got to upload. I got to manage the video editor to make testimonial videos based on what the students have submitted, put on the website, and then make ads, testimonial ads, put on our ad manager, and then we are gonna run those and test which ones are best, right? So there are just so many things that I have to do, and I have to manage, right? I don't do everything myself because that's dumb. I delegate this, okay, and that's why I have to hire and recruit people. So this life is not for everyone. Okay, in fact, I think 99% of people would be much happier just being in my tutor's position, where by the end of next year, and that's like very realistic. Okay, end of next year, I'm pretty sure she can hit that 18.9k at her peak months. So if I was her, right, I would definitely choose her life. I wouldn't want this. Like, she just has to focus on teaching, preparing, rehearsing her lesson, teaching, answering her students' questions when they send on WhatsApp. Then maybe sometimes they send their test paper, then she just reviews it, and then send back. Yeah, that's about it. Maybe sometimes there's like some extra like meetings that we have within, as tutors, crash courses that she hosts when we have crash courses. But does she have to handle the marketing? Does she have to message the students to follow up with them? Does she have to like craft the right messaging title, marketing angles, say the right words to persuade them? No, she doesn't have to do all that. Yeah, because I'm handling all that. So should you go from a 9 to 5 to start a tuition business? 99% of the time the answer is no. And if you have been in a 9 to 5 for some years now, the fact that you didn't like immediately get out of it when you tried, or maybe you didn't immediately become an entrepreneur, shows that you have some level of tolerance to a 9 to 5. If you have some level of tolerance to that, then it shows you are not in a place where it's so uncomfortable for you that you have to be an entrepreneur, that you have to have your own business. Because for me, I think I'm one of those people. It would be so uncomfortable for me. I can work there for like a few days, few weeks, and I'll start questioning my existence. I will start having an existential crisis. Like, what am I doing? Is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this my life? Is this what I'm meant for? Is this my purpose? I just have so much more potency inside of me, right? Wanting to explode out, but I can't do it. So you know what I'll do if I was in a 9 to 5? I for sure would start a side hustle. For sure I would start a side hustle because I want to do things myself. I always have this, I guess it's a bit of a, you could say it's arrogance, right? I have this a little bit of arrogance inside that says, I know I can do better. I know I can do things better myself compared to whatever my company is doing. So I bet I will be thinking of ways to make the processes at my company, if I'm working a 9 to 5, better. Or maybe I would say like, hey, I can do this so much better. I'm going to start my own rival company. So that's probably what I would do if I was a 9 to 5 employee. And then eventually I'll quit, see? Because I really don't want to listen to people's instruction from the boss. Because most of the time, the bosses are stupid compared to... like, I feel like they are stupid, okay? And I feel like the ways that they're doing things is stupid. Then I always feel like they don't deserve to be there. Because by merit, right? They don't deserve to be in that position. I deserve to be in that position, if anything. So, yeah, you can call this arrogance or ego or whatever, right? But there's also some truth to it because I know that I really can do a better job. So, that's one reason why I can't be a 9 to 5 employee. So, if you feel like that also, like that's just how you're wired, that's your personality, then, yeah, maybe you should start a business. And then what else? Another reason that I can't work in a 9 to 5 is because I mean I can, just that I will suffer. So why I would want to not work in a 9 to 5 is I like to control every aspect of the business. So if I was a tutor in my company, right? The thing is, yeah, I have a very good life, very simple. I earn a lot, probably more than any other job for the effort to money ratio. But I cannot control how we run things, right? I cannot control how I'm supposed to teach. I mean, I can control the exact words I'm saying and all that, right? But the memory shortcuts are already made by the company. The room, the place we are renting at is already dictated by the company. Basically all the small things, how the company does things, how they print the worksheet, all this is controlled by the company, dictated by the company. It's not dictated by me anymore. So here's where the first thing I said comes into play, where I feel like I can do things better. I want things a certain way, but then the company says like, no, they want these things this way. And so that is why I would not like it as an employee, because I don't have the full control of every small detail. Yeah, and I also feel it's a moral obligation of mine. Like if I work at a company, right, most of the time the chances are they are not doing a very good job for the customers. Then I will feel like this is wrong, because if I can improve the quality, it will be treating the customers better, it will be more worth their money and so on. So if the business just continues doing things at this mediocre level, it's actually hurting the customers, because we could be doing better for them, we could be giving more of their money's worth. So that's why I will feel like this is wrong. I need to do what is right. And so to me, doing what is right means making sure the quality is very high up there and fixing all the small problems. So that is why I want to control everything, and that's why I should run my own business so I can control everything. Okay, so if you fit that kind of criteria, then I think yes, you should start a tuition business. If you're thinking of tuition, because okay, so that is about if you should start a business, right? Next thing is, should you start a tuition business or tuition, right? Should you start a tuition business versus other businesses? Okay, so I think this is the misconception a lot of people have. They think that tuition business is very low barriers to entry. And in some ways, you're right. Low barriers to enter the market. But very, very high barrier to entry to becoming a well-known brand name. Okay, let me explain. So low barriers to entry because the startup cost is quite low. You can literally just with a computer, a webcam, and you don't even need a mic. You can just use your computer's mic, an iPad. You can run, like I had 50 students by the way. So that was earning how much? 16K revenue per month when 50 students. Just with webcam, laptop, and iPad. That's it, 16K per month, right? So it is very low startup cost. I mean, of course, I didn't instantly become 50 students, right? I built up the social media, I had ad funnels and all that. So very low startup cost, and you can earn very decent income. So honestly, if you just want to replace your 9 to 5, you can start a simple tuition business. Just focus on one niche, focus on that level, that subject, and then just chill. Just chill at like 30 to 50 students. Like in a few years, for sure you can get there. And then you just maintain your reputation by serving that niche very well, and then get referrals. Of course, you also need to probably build some marketing, have some website, have some social media page. But bare bones stuff, like you don't really need to go crazy on the marketing, like what I'm doing now. So yeah, it's a good life, you know. You can just from your home, work from home, 30 to 50 students. That's 16K per month at 50 students already. And it depends how much you charge also. If you charge more, it can be even more than 16K. So it's a very, very good life, you know. Yeah, and that's a great replacement for a 9 to 5. The thing is, so yes, low barriers to entry to enter, because a lot of Singaporeans, they already have gone through the education system. And if you have gone to a like so-called good school, or you have gotten good results in your portfolio, good results for your exams, and then you go through, you get a degree and all that, you have quite a strong resume already as a Singaporean. So that's why it's quite easy. Like most people have this resume already. So it's not very difficult to, like your whole life, right? As a student, you've been basically building up your resume and training to become a tutor, sort of. Because you've been learning the content, you've been learning how it's like to study, you've understood the customer because you have been a student. So you have a lot of things going for you, especially if you have gone to a good school, your grades are quite high. You have things going for you for this career already. So that's why it's quite easy for Singaporeans to enter, okay? But to really excel and break through the masses, right, to stand out, that one is very hard. I believe it's very, very hard. Because the competition is so much, right? Because startup cost is low, barrier to entry is low. So to really become a well-known brand and become trusted is very, very hard, because there's just so many out there. And everyone's saying they are the best, they are the number one. Like, that's nonsense. So if you just think about it, right? Because I know of a few people who are trying to start a tuition business, and I see what they're doing. They are definitely working very hard, okay? They are trying very hard. And they're also modeling after what I'm doing. And I notice over time, yes, they actually do gain traction, which is fantastic. Like, I just respect them a lot for the perseverance. Because even though it's a very hard, market to stand out in, and they are starting from no experience, so they are building up their reputation and their brand name. But over time, it's still gaining more and more traction. So it just goes to show that if you put your mind to anything and you just be consistent and you work on the same thing for very long, which is called focus, it will gain traction, even though this is a hard market to build a brand in. Yeah, so but it was slow, right? I see how they do it. It's slow, and also I can see the students are like very skeptical. They're like, this is probably just some lame thing, you know. They're not really open, because they just know that there's so many out there, and like anyone can become a tutor. So that is why it's very hard to become a trusted brand name and have a strong reputation and stand head above shoulders. So I also want to say I'm very, very grateful and blessed, because yesterday I was talking to my student about, she was saying, okay, I'm not going to name the name, but there's a pretty famous center, and she was saying how like she went for the crash course from that center. Then I was like, oh, how was it, you know? Because I was like, maybe I can learn a thing or two about how to persuade students to convert from the crash course to become a paying student. And then she said it sucks. She said the teacher sucks, like the teaching sucks basically. Then I was like, oh, that's sad, because like it's a very well-known center, it's been relatively successful. So like, yeah, to say that if the teaching sucks, right? Like, do you see how that destroys the reputation of that center? Like, now the student And those students who attended that crash course are all going to think this sucks. And then they're going to tell their friends and tell me also that, hey, it sucks. So that's sad. Yeah, that's sad. Then she offhandedly was saying a comment, and I overheard lah. She was saying to the friend beside her. She was saying that that center is very well known among secondary school students. You just ask any of them, they will say, yeah, I've heard of that tuition center. And then she was offhandedly saying that, oh, for bio is this one. And she was referring to our center lah, because she was in our classroom. She was saying, for bio is this one. This is the one that secondary school students, bio is very well known. That bio tutor is very well known. Then I was like, wow, like that's amazing. Because it's been a few years, like 4 years. And that means that the brand name has finally like broken through to kind of reach that level as the other very well-known big center. But only for bio lah. We're only very well known for bio, which is exactly what I wanted. So I guess that shows that it is possible to really break through and become a household name, a common name, and a strong brand. But it takes years, firstly. Second is that you have to be very niche, because if you are so broad, right? Yeah, I guess you can, but it's going to be much harder. Whereas you see me, we are a very small center, but because we are so niche and so narrow, right, and so high quality, we are able to break through and reach the same kind of level of reputation / publicity, but just in this very narrow slice, which is the syllabus that we are teaching. And in future, we'll expand our syllabus, but very, very slowly. So that's that's why I'm very thankful for that. We have achieved that, which is very hard to do, to become a common household name, to become like one of those who stand head above shoulders. It is very hard to do. So that is what I mean by very high barrier to entry also. So there's very low barrier entry to start, but to actually become good and well known, and that I think that is the goal that most people are doing this for, is very high barrier to entry. Okay. So in summary, should you start a business? Most people here probably should not. You probably, if you want to earn money, right, you don't even need to start a business. Just go find a tuition center that pays commission or some kind of variable salary model where you're being paid based on performance and number of students, or not just purely like a fixed salary. Because if you have a fixed salary of, let's say, 5K a month, if you have 10 students, you get 5K a month. If you have 100 students, you get 5K a month. 200 students, you get 5K a month. That sucks, right? Then you cannot control how much you're earning easily. But whereas if you're a tutor in a business like mine, and you're being paid by commission, some centers, they have fixed variable, and then they have a fixed one and a variable component, where the commission or the number of students is the variable part. So yeah, maybe that also will work. For mine, right now, it's just straight commission, so it's the most variable, most flexible. And yeah, if I was you, right, and I want to replace my 9 to 5, or I just want to be financially free, financially independent, I'll just go and find a business like mine, and then I'll be a super good tutor. I'll study the syllabus so well, and I'll just have so many students, and let the founder take care of everything else. Let someone like me eat all the poo-poo, which is like go and manage all the other parts of the business, whereas you just need to relax and focus on just the teaching and just treating the students well. It's a very good life. I earn a lot, and I get to truly help the students. I get to talk to them, enjoy myself. And most of the time, I'm not even working throughout the week. Most of the time, I just go around Singapore and like relax. It's an amazing life. So if I was 99.9% of the people, I think I would just, knowing how hard it is to become head above shoulders in the tuition industry, right? I would just become very good. And I would work at a business that gives us a variable component kind of pay. That's it. That's the formula. Yeah. And like the business, if you join a business, they already have resources. They've already been teaching this syllabus, so they can help you get up to speed very fast. They will handle all the marketing for you, all the getting of the students for you. Okay, like I know some centers, they don't handle all the marketing for you. They require you to follow up with the students, and I think that's just dumb. Like you want your tutor to focus on teaching, not focus on selling or marketing. So yeah, like for us, you don't at our center, you don't have to focus on marketing at all. You don't even have to message your students to like, hey, you want to join? That's so lame. So our assistants do that all for you, and we do it in a way that is not annoying. We send them stuff like once a week. We will send them. We will message them. hey, by the way, if you didn't already download our free notes, here's our free notes. Then the next week, hey, if you didn't know, we have free TYS answers, very high quality, so you can probably mark your TYS answers. Here it is, here's the link. Then the next week you send, hey, do you know we have the commonly asked questions, model answers, so for your open-ended questions, like if you didn't already download, here's the link. Yeah, so we send things like this where it is not annoying to the student, right? Rather than, hey, you want to join? Or like, oh, that's horrible, man. Yeah, so we don't do that kind of stuff. So I think that answers the question. Yeah, should you start a tuition business? For 99.9% of people, the answer is no. I guess the only reason why you would want to start is because you have a vision that cannot be achieved by joining an already existing business. And I think for me, yeah, I had that vision because I did not see any bio tuition that was established, and I want to do things my way. I want to do things myself, and I'm very glad I'm doing things my way. I'm very glad I'm doing things myself because I noticed, like, back to that student who said the very well-known center, right? She went for the crash course and it sucks. Like, that is the nightmare scenario for me. I don't want things to become like that. So if I were to work in that business, I cannot control the other tutors to make sure the quality is very high. I can only control my own teaching, right? So if I join that business, right, the business reputation is going to be good in some aspects, but also bad in some aspects because they're not controlling their quality, as you can see. So my vision is that I want the super high quality for all the classes. Yeah, so for me to be able to carry out this vision, I want to control the business. I want to control the hiring of the tutors, the training of the tutors. And that's why I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing, where I can control all the variables to carry out my vision. So it's really bigger than myself, right? It's bigger than my financial independence. It's about a vision for the society, a vision for this marketplace. I have a vision for the society that I want this level of students who we are teaching to be benefited, to be served in the best way possible with high quality education that is worth their money. That is what my vision is I want that to be reality in society. But if you're not really caring about that kind of stuff, right, which is okay, if you just care about, I'm looking for a good job to replace my 9 to 5, okay, then you don't need to start a company. You don't need to do that because you can get all the benefits with very low downside by just being a great tutor in a company that pays a variable commission model. Yes, okay, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk.